Right, ledgers. Can everybody hear me? And can you see my screen? Let me know and we will begin. Just give a couple of minutes for everybody to jump in. Hope you are all doing well. Apologies about the reschedules. Just wasn't well for a little while. And then I was my 2FA for my Twitter I couldn't get yesterday. But we're here. Okay, let's crack on. So I'm gonna I do apologize, my mouse is a bit weird. It's yeah, so you might hear some background noise, disconnecting. So bear with me with the mouse. We'll get the necessities out the way with, and we'll begin with kick straight in. Okay. So just a quick 30 seconds on our sponsor, Toobit. Then I'll shut up and we'll get into it. Toobit have put up a whale campaign up exclusively for my followers. Deposit and get 10% back. That's the whole mechanic. No, up to you, not selected users. Not if your uncle is your aunt. 10% of what you put in. Top end, you put 100 grand, you get 10,000 USDT back. Obviously, most of you aren't doing that. Doesn't matter. Same 10% applies down the ladder. It runs until 31st of August. That's pretty much the whole month. So there's plenty of time to get involved. Links pinned and in the description, it's my link. So if you check the description or on Twitter, the link I posted, you get the promo. Last thing, last thing, and I mean this, a rebate is not free money. And it's not a reason to deposit more than you were going to. If 10% is what tips you into a size you can't manage, then you fucked up. Read the terms on how to rebate pays out before you commit. Okay, right? That's out the way with. And a disclaimer: nothing contained in this content constitutes financial advice. You should always do your own research before engaging in any kind of trading. I thought my mic off. Sorry. You should always do research in before engaging in any kind of trading and or investing. Right. That's out the way with. Let's get started. I've got a bit of a cough, so bear with me. Bit of a sore throat. Had a bit of that virus thing. Okay, how is everyone? I won't be checking the chat on the Twitter stream. Um, I'll cover everything I need to, and then I'll check the chat. Okay. Um. Oh, can everybody do me a favor? Retweet the video, like it, share, and after the stream, in the comments section, let me know what pairs you'd like me to cover for the next stream. And you've seen I've been doing giveaways on Twitter. So those that comment, you'll be randomly selected for a free giveaway. Okay. You got nothing, no hidden things, just a free little giveaway as their appreciation. Okay. So that would be in the comment section on the YouTube. Okay. So let's get started. Bitcoin, where are we at? Okay. I'm going to get straight through, cover a few alts. Okay. And after that, I'll take one or two requests. Okay. Not too many. My voice is going. I'll do my best. Okay. So, where are we? Shit. I need to draw my range levels again because I think BitMEX is what's the data? I use the range level for this. Yeah, it's trading at 64. It's not that different. I don't know. Trading view showing this. I know the closing, but yeah, should still be okay. So, zooming out, bigger picture. So a lot of the macro stuff I've done in previous videos. So if you want to know the macro breakdown, then you can just watch that because there's no point repeating. Because otherwise, I can just play that recording just to save time, and we can do other pairs. Excuse me, my chest is bad. Okay, so bear with me. So just look at this. Looking at, quick yearly. Okay, you can see we're at that mid-range level, and I've chosen this range, as you can see. My pen tool. 1 second. 1 second. Task manager. My pen tool's dying on me. How come we can't function without the pen tool? Where are you? You little rascalot. End task. Hang on. I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Because that goes. Oh, shit. Hang on. We're back. There we go. So my mouse is weird, so bear with me. I'm a bit slow on moving the mouse because it just keeps. Don't know what's wrong with it. So, early we can see that retesting. So the from that low to that high, as that was the initial high, and this. Yes, everybody, share the video if you can, like it, especially if you're watching on the Twitter. Just have it playing on the YouTube, so get the algo going, and like the video, please, and share. Okay. Those that do share will be included in the giveaway. Well, selected. Okay, so I'll try to do it weekly. It's not much, but every little helps everybody. Okay, because you got to see from my side. I think I did one previously. Recently, I was over 45K from my own pocket at current market cap. So people say, "Oh, you didn't choose me." You got to realize that's 45K gotten from mine. So we'll do that. Okay, so and it'll be from people that tune into the stream. Okay, no ties, just a little appreciation. Okay, so that's yearly. That's the yearly. Quarterly. Okay, it's a bit cleaner. So I think monthly is going to be better. You can see, okay, it's starting to turn. It's retested. If you look, resistance, close above, and then still here closes, retest for now. Now, obviously, I will be open to other ideas, which I have broken down previously. This is why I don't want to repeat a lot of that stuff because you can watch, but just a quick overview, okay? And then you can see that cleanly. Resistance is the accumulation for the trend up, and it's retesting that now. Now, obviously, if it makes a clean break back below here, then most likely probably going to retest this level and this level, okay? Until that happens, this is more swing moves, okay? Now, short term, obviously, you can trade both directions, but I'm talking more from the point of directional plays, okay, in trend. Now, zooming in on the weekly, what do we have here? We have a swing failure. So now that's out the way with, we have a swing failure, low, swing failure, a push top. Now, obviously, it could turn, yeah, possibly, but if it's a macro support, then my macro view on swing trading directionally will be looking for a bounce. Now, whether that is continuation towards at least whether it's here, which is midpoint of this range, okay, or whether it's towards there, or there is something to trade from, little profit, okay. After that, well, I don't know with certainty. Nobody does. We can just go with what we can see at the time, and then after that, well, we can deal with it. So I'm only dealing with the immediate term, okay. So my focus, so now it's narrowed down to this range. Okay, now I will narrow it down further. Okay, so zooming in, go to the daily. Well, the week is not looking bad. So what we've done so far is we did. You know what I was looking for? I was hoping we'll run that low, and you'll understand what I mean in a second. Okay, and looking at the daily, not too bad, is it? Not too bad at all. It's not. It's not looking bad. It looks like it's kind of this bull flag break possibly off of key macro support. Okay, so short term, what would be the next objective? I would say, well, these clean highs here. Now, could it be the case where it just runs these and breaks back below? Possibly, but that would be my next objective. And I called the low here. If you look on my Twitter feed, you will see that. So let me break this down. There we go. So if you look at my Twitter feed, it was here, mid-range, and this is July mid-range. So I marked out July low, July high, midpoint, and the midpoints of that. So we would have known that. I was hoping a little bit, so I started to scale in. Okay, I was hoping one more little run of these lows. If you go to zoom in, now we could still possibly run that, by the way, and I'll explain why. So if we look, see that there, the clean lows. I was hoping we would have run that that low there, but we didn't. That's fine. So I started scaling because sometimes market will do that, and it's hit my first objective. Now, why am I keeping a short term for now? If I'm going to do a swing trade, my swing trade, if you look, is from here. I've posted many times, and I've got a wider stop, which I've told you. But there's no point repeating that because there's nothing going on much if it's range bound. And what I mean by it's range bound is technically, okay, we can see that that's that macro mid range area. Okay, remember I already showed that. But for now, it's still within here. So this is capping the downside. So for all we know, okay, it could just keep ping pong within here. If it makes a clean breakout above here, then we can say, okay, the next objective. So that enters, well, technically, that's the range, that's the old range here. And let me do that in different color. It could go down, but I'm just talking about immediate price action, okay? It could go up, it could go down either way. That's fine. If it's telling me it wants to go down, then I will adjust my plan. But for now, because I've identified it's a range, it's a short term, taking that long, it's hit my first target, which is the range level on the chart, and the stops are break even now. It can do what it wants. So this is another range if you look. Okay. So if it clears this, takes this out and holds, then the next target's going to be there. That way, I don't need to worry about, oh, I'm holding. I hold one long term position. I love a spot mainly. Okay. Which I don't play around with. Okay. And then I'll short term day trade both directions. Does that make sense? So it's come from there towards that. I actually did take a couple of shorts there. I mean, I don't post because I believe it's counter trend to the macro picture. So when I say macro, I could say I could have bought 120k spot or something. Okay. And my macro, if my macro pictures, I don't know, 500k target, which I think could do easily do 500k Bitcoin, then my macro stays intact, doesn't it? However, trading is not investing. Two different things. When you're investing, you're not going to be looking at the chart. So what? I mean, you start scaling in more within your risk limit. Okay, you don't go all in. So let's clarify that. So for now, this is my level to level trading with an identified range. That removes the stress. I don't need to worry about anything else. I let my macro do its thing, and I'll trade both directions in the meantime until it's confirmed that okay, we're about to break out and trend. So this way, the way I'm doing it is I'll identify my range, like I said, then I'll break it down to smaller ranges and I'll play within that. I.e., when we see, remember this post, if you go back to my Twitter feed, I posted that. I know I do a lot of shit posts. I'm trying to clean my feed. So that's why I joined the Telegram. If you join the Telegram, that's a cleaner version. Okay. It's in the bio. Join the Telegram, and I think in future the giveaways will be only announced in the Telegram and from the YouTube comments. Okay. And you gotta be subscribed to it as well, because we can check if you're subscribed. And especially for those that share the video. So my mate's got this AI thing, and what it does is it picks it all up. That's the good. So AI's got some tools that saves me from doing that. Okay, so there, so just towards there, and I'm out. Why? It's come to previous range lows. Okay, and then I don't know, and then it's been choppy. I've taken a couple of longs. If you look at my feed, a couple of longs. But if I was to just hold this, then I'm sweating. Okay, but I already had established that. Okay, we're in a range bound environment, which means I've got to keep my trade short, and I long for more directional moves at the extreme ends. Like this was an extreme end. Look at my tweet. I took a long there, but if you're gonna take that, you gotta sit through this. So how I overcome oopsie daisy, how I overcome it is I say, okay, I know that I have no control over when it's gonna go. Okay, because sometimes you fiddle too much, and then I'll short-term trade. But that's just my style. And then when it's clear that okay, it's gonna trend, then I can hold it for longer. Okay, or level to level, trade the uptrend. For example, if I'm long it here, I get out there. If it pulls back, same play. If it breaks and holds, then I'm back in, and I'll play it towards there. If it starts to turn, I'll trim some at least, take some profits, stops at break even. Because what I've done is I've established my boundaries where I'm anticipating based on previous ranges. Does that make sense? So that way I'm actually capturing a trend leg without worrying. So if I do this, so that's one of the range, okay? If it clears that, then most likely, if it clears that, then what do? We've entered this range. So the next logical target is there. Now, if it does one of these ones and say I long for whatever reason and then gets back below, what does that mean? I've got to cut my longs. That means we've re-entered back within the old range. And then I look for my shorts, target 1, target 2. And that's it. I'm done. Okay? And then I rinse and repeat. Ping pong till I'm wrong. Does that make sense? So that way you're not married to a bias. You're playing the range extreme ends, the smaller ones, and you're making money. And you let your swing trades do your thing in the background. Okay? Now, leverage trading isn't for everybody. So if you're long term, stick to spot or do some paper trading until you've proven to yourself. Okay? If you're going all in on anybody's trade idea, then you're gonna. I don't know. Is it too harsh to say you deserve to lose money because I don't know what you're doing then? Okay, so that's that. So towards there, 1 second. Okay, and that's it. Everybody clear? Now, what I can do is, as you know, when Bitcoin moves, everything else moves, right? So, having said that, if Bitcoin gives me a trigger, and then you say, well, I think obviously alts are high beta plays, then obviously if Bitcoin bounces, alts bounce harder, and if Bitcoin turns, drops, then alts drop harder. So what I can do is I say, okay, if I get a trigger long or short on Bitcoin, then I use that as my marker and I'll trade the alt. So without looking, so if Bitcoin gave me a long trigger, by default, I know I probably got a long trigger set up on Sol or F. That makes sense. And then what I do then is let's take FBTC, F for example. F is broken out. So if I'm saying this is my range for FBTC, and as you can see, it's range bound, right? It's at the extreme end of the range. It's broken out. So when Bitcoin gives me a long, I think F is the better long based on FBTC suggesting to me higher. Okay? Make sense? So with that, I'll use my Bitcoin. That doesn't mean I won't trade Bitcoin. I can still trade Bitcoin, but I'll maybe could split it or just stick to ETH because they're gonna do the same thing more or less. Okay, and then I can do the same thing with Sol BTC. Okay, but Bitcoin is still king. You gotta still look at Bitcoin to get the idea. So let's break this down now. So we're right here right now. It's hit my first target, and I've moved my stops to break even. What do I do next? Is the question. Okay, is this going to continue higher, or is this going to do another run of the lows? Well, what I'm going to look for is I'm going to split this up now. What if this is a deviation, a stop run, and goes back down? I don't have to rush in. One, if it's not clear to you, sometimes it's not very clear to me. Okay, sometimes I don't know. I can find arguments for both, so I'll just sit it out. I'll take the easy peasy plays, and I don't need to stress about anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down. Sorry if I don't check the Twitter stream chat, okay? Because it's too much. I will focus on there. But hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Please share the video. And if you're listening, if you joined in late, then you can check the free giveaway. Okay, that's from my own pocket. So what I've done here is, okay, what if this is a stop run, high of the week, into a range level resistance and break back down? So then what I do is I say, okay, 2-2s. I don't have to stress. I say, okay, if it gets back below previous day's range, previous day's high, then most likely that could mean. So technically, that's a long trigger for me. And if it's the case where it does this and gets back below, then we got some lovely clean stops there. Then I will look for shorts. I'll cut in a clean break back above the highs towards there. Target 1, which is the low of the day. Target 2 would be previous day's low, and target 3 would be there. And that would mean we're within this range still. Okay, so that way, so if I'm wrong on an idea, then by default, not all the time, but many of the times, by default, you get a trigger for your second setup. Okay, to cut a reverse. So whether you want to play it here, but you get the idea. They're clear? Makes sense? So for now, it could do a dirty one where it does this and then goes back up. Okay, well, sometimes our market doesn't work perfectly. Now, if I'm unsure here, then what I'll do is I'll use a little buffer zone to give me that extra acceptance. So if I'm not confident I'm going long here, okay, one, I can do small size, just a tester position. So it doesn't, a third or a quarter. Okay. Or secondly, I'd say, okay, I can see that when it came back below and deviated back above, that's what capped the level there. And as you can see, that's capped the level there. So that's capping the level now. Each time it deviates back below, what does it do? Short trigger, invalidation, back down. It deviates here, but then goes back below. I'm happy to chase that there. Invalidation and some sort of target like this, target one. And then, so what I do is I'll split this range into half. And usually the midpoint's first target and then second target. So if it deviates back below, same thing again, invalidation. Or here, if I'm unsure, I'll say, okay, let me wait. Let me wait. Now, previously, I capped it. However, if it breaks and holds above, that means that's usually for me acceptance above this. Without you can throw in order book stuff and footprint whatever for the confluence. That's fine. Whatever you want to do. But I personally never used that kind of stuff. This is just, I mean, I'm reading the market, my style, and it seems to work more than it doesn't. So, which I'm happy with. So that would be then my next trigger plan. I'm like I said, keeping it level to level. Trigger T1, T2. So I gotta know where I'm gonna get out. I don't need to know my targets. Okay. And my invalidation will be clean break back below here. So is that clear? I know exactly what I'm looking for a short trigger. I know exactly what I'm looking for a long trigger. And I've identified that we are range bound. So I've got to keep things short term until market says otherwise. And for the swing longs, either clean breakout or extreme ends. Everybody clear with the plan? And there will be a hole that lines up with these clean highs. Now, obviously, some feeds are different. Very clean highs here. Very clean highs. After that, what he does, we'll have to wait and see. If he wants to go low, I think we should run those. And then if he wants to go lower, then what I'll do is, if he does one of these ones, it's back below. Okay, trigger, target one, target two. Short it back down then. I'm happy with that. If it breaks above and holds, then run it back up. Target, hang on. So the next level, so that would be a clearance of July's high, but it's not just July's high. Ah, yeah, mums. Hang on. So my mouse is just all over the place. Sorry, bear with me. So from this, literally, you can just look at the Bitcoin. Well, what I do is I just look at Bitcoin, and I get my other trade ideas. I mean, I know by default what the rest are going to do just from this chart alone. That makes sense. So that way, I don't need to look at 100 pairs, because if Bitcoin's giving me a short trigger and my alt is giving me the long, I'm not really going to take that long on my alt. Am I? Okay, it's probably just a fake out. So, like I said, back above here, so separate trade. If it comes into here and then holds, then that's the acceptance out back into that old range. Remember what I said? And then it's a clearance of SR. So it's got to hold above. Trigger. Target. LOLO. Let's fucking go. Everybody follow. Let's go. He's like literally my big brother. Oh. Now I've got a bad chest. So what do? I've got to spark up another cigarette to make it worse. This is financial advice. Okay, that's if it does that. We'll worry about that then. So technically, I would have caught a trend leg, but I'm playing it level to level without the worry of it reversing on me or this, that, the other. Clear? Any questions on this? And just to separate just from this chart alone, just to mark out a basic, I mean, so for example, say if it comes back below here and holds and doesn't return back above, so there could be a scenario because it's been ping pong, like, as you can see here. So one scenario could be if it runs this low By the way, Let's Go used to be he's won around 10 Brazzers awards. He's worked with many great, should we say, actors. Yeah, he's when you see the guy with the mask, that's him. Yeah, he's well known in the adult industry. So you know, if there's any 10 out of tens females, you just DM Les. Okay, now let's carry on. Somebody said, if what if you're into guys? Well, you know what? Real traders go both ways. That's what I was told. I was okay, joke. Anyways, let's carry on. So next, so yeah, so once around. So if I'm going to play a range play and it does a Monday's roll, by the way, 3 years. So if it does that and then reclaims, I play the exact same play again. By the way, okay. If it breaks and clean above, so what I'm doing, I know exactly what I'm going to deal at, and this is where these range levels help me a lot. Okay, removes the doubt, the thing, then back down, and if it holds below, and that means okay, we're probably going to go lower, target, and I'm covered. Okay, let's carry on. Yeah. So, having said that, that's the end of the stream. Joke. So I'll go over the rest quick. Okay. So why am I leaning a little bullish? I want to show you something. Okay. I believe we're gonna get something out of the surprise. Now remember when I was long here, I posted it all publicly. If you remember, took the long. There was my target, and I got out flat there. I was expecting. I wasn't even looking at the market the other day when this happened. But I did post this. If you got it, if you watched the streams, you would have probably been in. I had it all marked up before. Long in violation and target one hit. I think we could possibly be getting um, something like this in Bitcoin soon. Okay. Now, if you look into what Trump, and this is where I think it's important to also keep an eye on geopolitics as well. Trump's main job, right, is to pump the stock market. Now, whether that's artificially done or not, markets are always this. The whole aim of the market is a transfer of wealth. Let's not kid ourselves. Okay, not everybody's gonna make money. But one to make money, another's gonna lose money. Okay, even when they say money printing, yeah, well, that doesn't mean everybody makes money. Okay, that money printing, well, it's pumped in for people that know how to take money from one other. Your job is just to catch some of it and get out. Okay, so I don't care if people's artificially, the whole market's artificially pumped. Everything is artificially pumped one way or another, however you look at it. Okay, so his job is to pump the stock market and drop the dollar. I believe the face. So if you look, I actually longed here as well, and Nikkei. Okay, this is gonna be important for you now. Why am I bullish uh, crypto? Because when the dollar or dollar index trends, that's when everything bends the knee. It's important you notice this. And that's how I catch sometimes, not all the time, but many times. Um, yes, Adil, King General. So if you look at in the major swing moves, you look at the boring stuff that nobody else looks at. Okay, it takes time, but when you catch that, you catch a trend, and that's how I caught this. Look at my Twitter feed. I know I've posted about 50 times. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I caught all this. And I also said I'm out exactly there. That is like, okay, if you do some all right size, that's your trade. You're done. Look at that. And I avoided all the chop. I took one stop out here. So I tried to long it here first on a run of this. And I got stopped out. And then once the swing failed it, got back in, small there. And then this one, it's on my Twitter. Go back to the dates. This happened. Longed it there towards there. And then added there. Actually caught these two bottom moves. Now, so what is it? Why am I saying this? I'm saying for this purposes for the FX majors and Bitcoin. Yes, Suf, real bad man. So this for me is a significant thing happening now in the dollar index, and this is gonna play into crypto as well. Okay, so your paid group leader is in my group, by the way, And you learned this from me. Like actually, that's not even a joke. If you look at my private group, your leader is probably there. Okay, a lot of the streamers now, all of them used to be in my group years ago. So there, when it deviates, that's significant. It's a weekly chart, by the way. Okay, towards there. Now watch this. There, deviation. Now we're retesting that. Now this will clear up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark out separate chart. I'm gonna clean this up. This is for Bitcoin purposes. So this gives me a factor of confluence for Bitcoin. Now look at that. We retested it. Now let's zoom in. Now it's important. Now you want to pay attention. So yes, the reason why I say that, if you look at my videos, they go back, was it 2015, 2013? So I'm not streaming new. I mean, I have streamed for 1 or 2 years. I got burnt out. However, if you look at my YouTube, I got videos going back then, live trades. I used to be cringe. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. In my 20s, I used to just trade my trade and then record my screen, make like, yeah, when you're like in your 20s and you just fucking ego and everything. Yeah, I just paid 25 grand. Yeah, all recorded as well. But yeah, um, yeah. And my mate used to put some shitty music. Not shitty. I liked it at the time. But yeah, it's so cringe when I look back and I go, why the fuck did I do that? But yeah, you learn. You mature when you grow older. So you see that there? That's that stop run I wanted to see. Okay, it's like significant now. So what does that mean? That means if the dollar falls, everything against the dollar rallies. Now you've seen the moves in gold. So what you got to remember is this has been range bound for a year. That compression, so something aggressive is going to happen soon. Now I'm already positioned. If you look at my Euro USD, Aussie, and a few others, this lays confluence for me. Okay, now I can wait for a little more if I want a little more breakdown. Maybe break back below here in case it runs back up. You never know. There's no guarantees. I'm just going with what I see currently. Okay, and I'm happy to change my views. Now, my target would be obviously range lows and then back towards here, as that is the old previous range. So just like I showed you on the lower time frame, this is the range. Okay, so target one, which is more or less midpoint, and then there. Now, one more thing I want to show you. So if that's breaking down, where's Bitcoin at? Now, obviously, Bitcoin can have 1 or 2 more runs, lower, stop, run quick. Bitcoin being Bitcoin, you can do a 10, 20K candle up and then back up again. That's the nature of Bitcoin, as you know. Okay. But this is why when I keep my swing trade, I cater for that. Okay. And I treat it like a swing trade. I use wider stop, smaller position. And as it confirms my idea, I'll add more and trade my stop. I'll add more. Oh, what I'm going to do is for those that use the link, you get access to the Toobit. This is separate from my normal Telegram. This is just a small one. If you use that, then I'm going to do a video on how I turned 10K to a million in 21 days. I've posted about it. And it's going to be a compounding video, a video on that. So how I use I use a fixed risk, and all I do is, I only use it in a trending market, because that way it goes in my way. That it doesn't work as well in a range bound. Okay, I use different. So for example, you have strategies where sometimes you have one for range bound. Look, I just showed that's one of my range bound strategies in out early that I cater for that. And then I have a swing trade strategy, a trend strategy. Two different. You can't apply the same thing to every market condition. And then I adjust that to volatility and everything like that. Okay, so and so while dollar index is doing that, this is a macro support. Now, okay, can you do one more run? Yes, but it's a warning sign. Get ready, in my opinion. If I'm correct on this thesis, going down. Now, what you do is you put up, look at when the dollar index is trending, then look at what Bitcoin does. Don't look at it tick for tick on a small time frame or consolidation phase. It doesn't mean much. Means like it's like neutral. Okay, this is like neutral. However, when things starts trending, then everything else bends the knee. Example. Hang on, I'm trying to find a feed. This. I'll give you one example for I mean. It's important. This does relate to crypto as well. No, this one. Sorry. Give me a second. I'm trying to find where I've got it. 21. Euro USD. So there, that's one. So they remember I posted that live. It's up. Now obviously it's just starting. I'm not gonna adjust it just yet. But my point being is look at the yearly chart on this. If you look at all the FX majors, GBP USD, Euro USD, so everything's connected in a way, is it not? So this is why, when I'm looking for my macro trade for Bitcoin, I'm looking at all this shit. You understand? So there, yearly chart breakout. That's huge. In FX, that's huge. You may think it's small, but it's liquid. You can do massive size. That's huge. And when it trends, it trends hard. Look at that. And we've got it again. So it's been years since we've last had this. So in my opinion, this is one of those once in a generational thing, which lines up with Trump's geopolitics as well. Obviously, he wants crypto up. He wants to rug everybody as well. I mean, you think he ain't want to rug everybody. So while he's president, he's a businessman. You may think he's stupid, Trump, but he's not. Everything's done for a reason. Everything's done for a reason. So, yeah, comments should be on YouTube. Yeah, comments should be. So, is he here for business? You think he's opened his own paid group, 100K a month. He's president, but he's just here to collect. I gotta respect the hustle. To be honest with you, the grift is strong with that one. He's getting everything done though. Okay, so as stupid as people think he is, it's all theatrics. Okay, he's not stupid. Oh, even though I take the piss out of him, it's all theatrics. Okay, he's here to make money, and he's here to please the. So this is a bit off topic. So you get the military-industrial complex, and you get the financial. I learned a lot this from Simon Dixon, so I check him out. Now, obviously, they're rebuilding Middle East now, so his job is to obey the financial industrial complex. So there's more money to be made by rebuilds. So you get your own boys to get your contracts in, isn't it? So you blow everything up down there. Now the time of blowing things up on military is down the drain. I mean, not down the drain, but okay, the financial industry complex is proving now to be more profitable. So we can't keep blowing for never-ending wars. It's not about winning the war; it's about never-ending war. So these big stock companies and make money. That's all it is. It's all business. I know it sounds unfair. That's just reality of life. Okay. Now, having said that, the rebuild is going to be huge, and he's here to make money, pump the stock market, do whatever he can. Okay, that's all he is. You got to respect the hustle. So you ain't gonna change it. As much as we argue on Twitter and get emotional, you play the game, understand the game. Look back at my tweet here. Let me show you something. Let me show you what I mean. I'm glad I tweeted it because it holds as a timestamp what I mean. And my thesis was based on obviously on multiple things, but a lot of it is based on you gotta realize what does the regime want, because the banking lobbies are the ones who he serves. So let's look at this. 20. So the date is January 2026. Trump will continue to pump the stock market. Japan will pump Nikkei. BTC about to begin another pump. Okay, it's not in sync. However, stock market up first. There, it was there. Nikkei, remember that? I mean, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you get the point. Nikkei was here. Now let's go back. Look where the stock market is now. SPX is there. Look at Nikkei. There. All the way, hit the target to the tick. So everything takes it in turn. Now I believe the next one will be for crypto. How do I get that? Or how do I build that thesis? Watch this. So what we do is we go to my SPX BTC chart. That's how I get it. I mean, I've seen the be all and end all, but you pay attention. Where's SPX BTC at? So that tells me I think soon SPX. I thought it was gonna they were gonna slow down soon. Okay, doesn't mean stock market gonna fall, but one will probably go into a range bound. So I think the stock market soon goes into a bit of a range. Okay, if I'm correct on this idea, or it does continue trending, but Bitcoin takes over. Now watch this. We're at that region now. Okay, I don't know when, but when it's a bottom, it'll confirm. So if it gets back above here, then I think it's ready. Crypto takes over. Okay, it's a rotation, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so when it does that, now we've got plenty of time. I don't have to ape in now, but I build my spot positions at least, play my short-term leverage trades, And then I'll start aping, expecting a trending move when I put my foot on the gas, expecting this. Now I get that from looking at this chart. So that means, okay, people say, oh, stock market continue going up. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to go with what the market tells me. I compare BTC, I compare SPX. Now I'm looking at what the dollar's doing now. So when the dollar starts moving, that's when FX majors will rally, Bitcoin will rally. You can see copper, gold. Copper. Have you seen copper now? Look how it's trending. I talked about that last year. Okay, so massive that copper position. It takes time, but those are the trades you put size in, you wait, you swing trade, and easy money you collect. Okay, now obviously if you got $100, I can't do much about that. Okay, and clearly your 10K capture doesn't ain't working unless you get lucky or inside information. But my point being, once this happens, then I think we go full throttle in Bitcoin. We got time now. I could be wrong if it breaks below here. It could continue raining for a little while. But if this happens, I believe we get a little pause in the stock market. Range bound, that doesn't mean it's going to sell. It could correct, yes. More of a range bound. And then I think Bitcoin starts trending. So we still got time. That's when my confirmation comes in. But it's at that key level now. So if you're going to turn, I don't know the exact low, and I don't have to know the exact low. I know my area where I start paying attention. Could it swing fail this? Yeah, possibly. But once it does get back above here, that's a deviation. Let's fucking go. That's a deviation. Let's go. That's a deviation. Let's go. Okay. Clear? Make sense? Okay. So, and Bitcoin, the thing with Bitcoin is can do like a 10K move in like a couple of minutes and then back up. Bitcoin being Bitcoin. So, yeah, you got to give it a bit of space. I usually put my foot on the gas once it's confirmed. Okay, where was I? What was I saying last? I forgot. So, yeah, Euro USD, dollar index. So, if you look at the Euro USD, breaking down the yearly cable, GBP USD, everything else is breaking out. So, back to my point, if the dollar index is going to turn, then it's one piece of the jigsaw for me. So, I see Bitcoin soon. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go on to Sol. Solana, bigger picture. I'm going to zoom through the rest. My voice is going. But the thing is, as long as I'm clear with my Bitcoin, everything else is done then, isn't it? Everything else is done. The rest is just, okay, I'm getting in. And this is just refining for day trades, everything. So I discussed previously, I do have another chart for this, sorry. No, it's not here. I don't have it right now. But it doesn't really matter. Sol, hang on. It's a macro mid-range level area. Here it is. Here it is. Look at this. This is the pivotal zone. What do I mean by that? So I clear this up. I've already discussed this before. There. Why is that pivotal zone? So firstly, okay, it rallied up. This was the point of the big leg up. Once it broke back below, resistance, sell off. Resistance, once it broke back above, springboard. And now we're at that. So keep in mind what Bitcoin's doing, keep in mind what this is doing, keep in mind what dollar's doing. Yes, I could be wrong, but I gotta go with what the market's telling me, and I'll trade accordingly. Now, if this breaks back below and Bitcoin breaks back below, then okay, I'll start looking for shorts towards that and then that. But until that happens, I go with what's happening now. So there. So I played that long. If you look at my tweet, I actually first longed it here a bit early, and then the rest was on this. Play that leg up. Now, ultimately, I believe the confirmation comes in that the bottom odds are if it reclaims back above here. So first is that macro support. So this was a 5-minute chart, then I would wait for that. And once it gets back above here, then I think, okay, we entered the old range. Same concept on the lower time frame. I'm using this. Yeah. Okay. But it's got to be above here. So for now, I'm going to accept that this is range bound. That if it does take off, I can adjust my plan. However, it still is range bound. So that's why I'm keeping my trades short term. Now, yes, I do have a massive macro swing long, but that's separate. That's the reason why I got a wider stop. And then I'll day trade. Now, let's zoom in now. So we identify that's the macro support. This was the first leg up. If you recall, remember this? Front feed. And then where did it come in towards? There. Okay. Where we're at now is that's range high. Resistance, 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 deviation, resistance. There. Range low, deviation back above. Some sort of pop in towards here. And you got to accept the fact I can't mention high targets when it's range bound. When it clears that, then I say, okay, trend mode switches on. Until then, treat it as a range. And it goes back down. Where does it go up to? This. Target 1, target 2. Okay, now, Where are we? So, two options. Ultimately, I think we go here. As long as we hold above this, there's my next target. Ultimately, now there's targets within targets as well. Okay, so what do I look for now? So easy play that would confirm to me. I would want to see a reclaim back above here. This is the old range low. There. Deviation, resistance. So easy play would be if you reclaim back above here, then look for longs, a cut and clean break back below towards here. Maybe target one, target two. Two does a range. That's an easy play waiting for me if I'm unsure what to do here. Okay. So that's there. I always have my plan for the easy trade. Okay. Then I have another plan. So if you when you plan ahead, it removes the stress. Then I have my next plan. Okay, this is bull flagging now. What do I do? One. Okay, I can wait. Short term. So remember, we're still within that range. Short term, I switch to this chart. Now this chart is one of the last week's range. I'll play short term here. So for short term, I've taken a small long. Okay, I'm keeping this small because I've already got a swing position on. Otherwise, I don't want to over risk. There. I've got a hard invalidation there, but if it starts to break and hold below that, I'm going to look to scale out. Same with Bitcoin. Remember what I said with Bitcoin? If Bitcoin gets the short trigger, then most likely it's going to go lower. But for now, it's broken out. And I'm going to be looking for towards here, there, and then there. Make sense? And if it makes a clean break back below here, okay, I'm wrong. Then most likely what we're going to do is probably going to run these lows here. Same with Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin gets the short trigger, this will probably get the short trigger as well. So if it breaks back below and holds below, then there's going to be my short trigger. Hard invalidation. If it reclaims, I'm going to look to scale out. Target one, target two, and possibly even here. Okay. Yes, but it's irrelevant. Even if I do look at the monthly chart, I mean, yeah, okay? Is there something you want to suggest in the monthly chart? Here's the monthly chart. Yeah. So yes, we have taken out. So also on the monthly, we've taken out previous month's low. We're above the monthly open. Okay. So naturally, on a monthly basis, was capping the upside. Last month I was capped. So that would be the range if you're going to zoom out on a monthly area. Okay. So yes, and you can then look at Sol BTC as well. So if I look at Sol BTC, yeah. Yeah, as long as we hold above here, as long as we hold above, so oh god, let me just clean this up a bit because I've got too many levels. As long as we're holding above here, I think Sol is the better long. So you see there, once it clears that support, deviation, there. So whether that is a retest here or not, I think as long as we hold above here, I think we go towards there next. Okay. Now, if I'm unsure, then I'll wait for it to reclaim back above here as a clean deviation back above. Then that would be a proper confirmation. Same as I showed before. Remember this? That would be equivalent to this. Okay. And then that would definitely mean to me Sol probably can outperform. Okay. Oh, I don't look at shooting stars and stuff like that. I'm looking at bigger picture context. There's a reason why I've gone over all of Bitcoin, dollar index, SPX to trade everything else. I'm not going to just look at one candle on one market and make my decision on that. Okay, each to their own. Individual candle patterns don't mean nothing to me. I don't even know what half these things are. I look at what the market's telling me. Okay, let's carry on. Is that clear for Sol? Any questions? Okay, let's carry on. I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna whiz through the rest. Okay, I think we've been quite a while in now. How long have we been in? How long has it been going on for? Doesn't tell me here. How long has this stream been going? Oh, 50 minutes. So let's carry on. So that's that done. That's it. So hype, keeping it basic, resistance, deviation, resistance turn support until proven otherwise. Swing failure here. I think this is until my invalidation. Take care, Vinny. So can look at that if I want extra confluence. So my first trigger would have been there. Is a deviation. So if I breaks and holds above, trigger, and I'll be looking for a retest of those highs again. Okay. Now if I zoom in a little, so let me finish that my point here. Clean break back below here, then okay, I'm gonna have to look to cut my longs, maybe start looking for shorts. Okay. Until that happens, I'm just gonna focus on what we see now, and this is a basic SR flip. Trying to keep it as simple as possible. If I want more further confluence, then you can see these channels. So if it reclaims back that's a reclaim back within here. My trigger, invalidation, target 1, target 2. Okay, that's it. Simple. F. If I'm looking, see with F, I wanted to see one more run. I haven't actively traded F much recently. FBTC, he's suggesting to me, okay, it's breaking out. I've already broken that down. It's fairly obvious. Okay, and towards here next as correct, and then range highs basically just ping pong. Looking at this, I personally, if I look at F and a zoomed out view, it's nothing really. I did a snippet video on this, which is on my pinned Twitter. You can see that I just did it on F. But if I look at it, I mean, it's just a SR, really, isn't it? And if I think that's my range, really and truly, it's just been like this. So if it's back here, upside daisy, oh, your mom, I've lost everything. There, and there. And okay, buy range lows, sell range highs until proven otherwise. Okay. Now, when it comes down to trigger, now, okay, things can get a bit tricky. Ideally, what I was hoping for, which I believe we could still get, is there's 2 plays for this, for me personally. I mean, for spot, I'm obviously going to be range lows. I wanted these lows to be run. Very clean lows. So ideally, if it happens that we get one more spike, which with crypto, it can happen at any moment. Okay. Ideally, if you get one of these and then reclaim, by default, we're probably, I mean, for this to happen, Bitcoin's probably going to be bottomed as well. Okay. I'm gonna build up a big long there. I think that could be the bottom if that happens. If this is this is what I wasn't comfortable with. I was hoping some dirty fucking move like this. So if that does not happen, what do I do? Well, I'm gonna probably use Bitcoin for my trigger. Okay. However, it's the same range as Bitcoin, really. This is. So if I go down, yes, everybody like the video, please. It's range highs here. Now, what we've got here is we've reclaimed back above here now. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So we identify as the macro area. Look at this. And I'm going to draw one more more intermediate level there. Now, let's break this down. So we got there. We identify that as the macro support region. High, and this is zoomed in now. Okay. And then we've got obviously there. That's the upper boundaries within this range. You can see proven there. So for me, as long as it holds above here, target would be towards there next. And then there, in violation, a clean break back below here. If it makes a clean break back below here, then most likely I'm gonna have to look for shorts towards there and cut it and a reclaim back above as in violation. Is that clear? That's it, really. And obviously, if it breaks above here, then most likely Bitcoin's probably broken out. And then we can start planning for the swing. Okay. Yeah, I was saying back to that. Oh, I forgot. I got distracted. So the video on the compounding will be done for people in there. Okay, it's free anyway. But obviously, Toobit sponsor these streams. So obviously, for them to sponsor, obviously, I've got to do some content for them, like these things. It doesn't cost you, but if you want to know how I compounded until 10K to a million, I will show the track record thing on the Twitter. If someone type in 10K to a million trader one as that it comes up, then obviously you have to sign up using the link. Okay. It's all automated, so if you got any issues, just contact Toobit. They'll happily support, and it's free. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's it. And if we reclaim back above here, same with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin starts triggering the swing longs, like I said, by default, this will be ready as well, and we can play up. So for now, all I've done is mark out the immediate terms setups. Okay, that's that. Now, if I want to refine a little more, I'll say, okay, you know what? I'm not really sure if it's gonna go up from here. Okay, that's fine. We've got mid range here. Support, 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 resistance, resistance. If it clears this and holds, got a clean break back below. Target one, target two, keeping it nice and clean, and that's it. Okay, and that would be equivalent to there and that there. So all this is really, that was the range, deviation, and stop stress there. I'm wrong, below here. Now we could get a scenario where, okay, so if I draw back in my levels, let me just draw this here. So the blue is gonna be the mid range, okay, just so I can keep the chart clean there. And then I do this. So we could get a dirty scenario. Crypto could be ready. Run these lows and then reclaim. Stop run. If it is a swing failure, that's my long target. Okay. And T2. Now, if it breaks above and holds, so if you want to play safer, I'm sure, and you don't want to really buy it here because it's done a bit of a move already, then there towards there. So either this or that. And if I don't want to play in between, fine. Chill. Relax your body. That's it. Okay, that's done. Silver, I posted this. It's basically, yeah, that's my silver play. I posted it already. Not much to say on this other than retesting this SR, and it's reclaiming this range. Yeah, and I'm long. I'm long below here. So it's more of a swing trade for me. Okay, I'm not gonna fiddle. That's it. So if silver is bullish, then gold is also bullish. Okay. Hello, Mitch. How are you? So if I didn't mention your name, I'm not checking the chat much. Okay. So if you do, normally I said you say hi. I just haven't checked the chat. Okay. I'm losing my voice. Okay. So I'm gonna end it soon. But the main thing is, has everybody done some Bitcoin? Zig, yeah, somebody asked me this. I am in this. They got some big news that one of the guys that works for, with Nomura, they partner with Zig, so that's kind of big. And there's this other massive fund. I don't know how many massive in Europe. One of the biggest in Europe is in Zig as well. So I think it's just a matter of time. So it's one of the projects I like, but check them out yourself. So we got this support, deviation. When it goes back above, when it reclaims back above, there's that high. It's reclaimed, it's breaking out. So there, I feel probably better with spot. Okay. And now I've got this in just to illustrate my point. I'm just holding spot personally. Target, target, target. And that's it. It's as simple as that. That's as simple as that. Okay. Is everybody clear with the plans? These are the cleanest setup I can see. You don't need to be in every single pair. Just the cleanest ones. And next session with my boy Sibeta, I will do more. But is everybody clear? I think I'm gonna end it here. I hope you enjoy the stream. Use the link in the description. Okay. If you want access to the Telegram, free Telegram, you gotta use that link. And I'll catch you guys next week. Good night and have a great week.